Welcome in, everybody. It's the Coach Matthew Mitchell Show. I am your host, Coach Matthew Mitchell. I am thrilled that you have joined us for another episode and excited for this week's content. I know it's going to be helpful for you and your leadership and your personal growth. And that's what we love to do here in our company. We teach the winning tools, honesty, hard work, and discipline. So if you are struggling to get your team to their full potential, and I want you to ask yourself that, are you? Are you struggling to get your team to reach their full potential? Well, at Winning Tools, we give you the step-by-step framework to develop leaders, build winning habits, create lasting success, and we want you to join us on the journey we are on to solve underperformance, to help you move toward sustained success. And we know that when you master the right tools, winning becomes inevitable. Those right tools are the winning tools: honesty, hard work, discipline. So I want you to visit CoachMatthewMitchell.com to book a call today to see when we can begin solving underperformance for you, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Also, these are flying off the shelf, baby. The USA Today best-selling book, Ready to Win: How Great Leaders Succeed Through Preparation. It's just a sensation right now. You can't believe it, because guess what happened? We have now released a paperback copy, and they can barely keep up printing those things, is from what I'm told. I haven't looked at the actual numbers, but that's just what I'm told. Many people are saying that the paperback edition is flying off the shelves. So listen, go anywhere online where books are sold, you go pick up your copy. And we're going to talk about something this week that we discuss in the book that is just so foundational to what I believe will help you step into your full potential as a leader, that will fuel your personal growth. And I am so passionate about that, because I would love for you to feel what I have been able to feel on my leadership journey, and to achieve what I've been able to achieve in my leadership. And so this week, we're going to break down this concept that we discuss in Ready to Win. And it's talking about when we pursue a life of excellence, there is a great reward to that pursuit. And it's a shift, and we've talked about this many times, but we're going to continue to hammer away at this. There's a shift from perfection and living a life where I'm pursuing perfection and trading that in for a life where I am pursuing excellence. And that's what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about 3 pillars of personal excellence. And so as you start to achieve excellent results and excellent outcomes, I want you to know you need to begin here where we're going to talk about this week, the 3 pillars of personal excellence. And they are character, commitment, and consistency. These are the 3 pillars of your personal excellence. And when you establish these 3 pillars of personal excellence, you are going to take off in your achievement, in your productivity, in your profitability. But I'm telling you, these 3 come first. So let's dive into the first one. That's character. So have you made a decision about your personal character? Because you are the only person who can do that. And what does that mean to me when I think about the kind of character I want to possess and the life I want to inhabit is driven by the decisions that I've made about my character. So I want you to think about that. Have you gone through that process where you have declared and you've set some standards to what kind of character you want to have? Because this is the only person that can make this decision is you. No one else can decide what kind of character you want to have. People can treat you poorly. People can treat you well. People can treat you fairly. People can cheat you. People can do all sorts of things to you that you have no control over, but no one can pick your character for you. You must do that. So let's examine my journey in that. And I had some real decisions to make, and I think we all do when it comes to our character. And so when you think back about when we were young and we were developing, how did we learn about character and what we wanted that to be and what we wanted that to look like? And so I had such outstanding examples of high character people in my life, and they were my parents, John and Carol Mitchell. And they are the people that really taught me the value of the winning tools: honesty, hard work, and discipline. But character is tied completely to the first winning tool, honesty. So we have to be honest about our character and what that's going to look like, and what kind of life we're going to live. And my dad was such a person of high character. And so what was he able to do? He hammered away at honesty and held me accountable for times when I was dishonest. Being the youngest of four boys, and I was younger than them by a good margin. And so, I had no really power in the family dynamic. I was the youngest, and so I couldn't really assert myself. And so what I did learn to try to navigate and fit in was I tried to inject a lot of humor into the family. And because of that, I really think that it got to a spot where I learned to tell stories early in life. And then I learned that if you embellish a story, that it made the story more entertaining, and then started to sort of morph into not telling stories that were true. And so I started to struggle a bit with honesty, not in a nefarious way, not in a sinister way, not in a way where I was trying to injure people, but in order to try to make people laugh, or to try to get people amused, or to try to maybe get some of the spotlight on me, I would tell these stories, and it morphed into some dishonesty. And so my dad would hold me accountable on those things. And he would just tell me over and over and over the value of honesty and the value of telling the truth and saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And I'm so grateful now at this point of my life that he hung in there with me. And he did not excuse and think it was amusing, or laugh or go along with my dishonesty, but he would call that out. And so when it really came time for me to decide, was I going to be a person of high character? Was I going to have good morals, good principles, good actions? How was my behavior going to be influenced by high character living or low character living? I decided to follow his example. And I would not have been able to do that had I not been able to get honest about who I wanted to be. So I think it's so important when we're thinking about personal excellence that when we choose to be high character people, there are going to be some times where you run into short-term setbacks because you are a person of high character. There's going to be temptations along the way to take a shortcut for an immediate gain, an immediate win, an immediate success, that a low character action would help you get there faster, that you're going to have to make a decision that I'm not going down that road, and I may have a temporary setback, but my life is going to be able to be one of sustained success because I choose high character living. So that is pillar number one of personal excellence. And I want to encourage you to examine your life and make a decision on what type of character you're going to have. And I am suggesting, coaching you to choose high character living. So the second pillar of personal excellence is commitment. And commitment is just wrapped and is supported. Let me say that. Commitment is supported by the second winning tool, hard work. So commitment is all about doing what's right, even when it's hard. And being a person who follows through with their commitments takes effort. And so when I am thinking about a person, or I'm thinking about people in my life who follow through on their commitments, there's not one person I can think of that is not demonstrating a dedication to effort and to hard work. And so when we think about personal excellence and we think about this pillar, commitment, this is very, very important that we again examine this part of our life. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about this past week or these past quarter or wherever you want to examine this. But have you followed through on commitments? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you accomplish what needs to be accomplished to move the ball down the field? Now, that is a football reference. When you're playing football, you're trying to get to the touchdown. You're trying to get to the goal line, right? You understand that. It's 100 yards long, and you're trying to move the ball down the field. You want to get into the end zone. That's where you score the touchdown. And so where are you trying to move the ball down the field in your life? Where are you trying to be? Where do you need to produce? Where do you need to succeed? Who is counting on you? Who is important in your life that you need to come through and perform? What is the task you're trying to accomplish? What is your objective? What is your goal? You understand what I'm saying? And commitment. What commitments are there for you that need to be completed? So I just want you to go back and review that. Are you following through on your commitments? So let me tell you a way that you can get that done. It's just what we write in the book, Ready to Win, is all about preparation. And if you want to be a person of personal excellence and follow through on your commitments, you have to be prepared to know what those are. And so when you identify these commitments that move the ball down the field, that move you toward your end zone and toward your touchdown, touchdown's worth 6 points. And then you line up for the extra point. And if you kick it, it's worth 1. If you run another play, you can go for 2. It can go 2. But the touchdown is what we're trying to get. You follow me, don't you? What we want to do with our commitments, what needs to be done, and you need to identify those. You need to identify your commitments. You need to have a plan for who does that commitment benefit? What is the benefit of the commitment? Who or how or what's going to benefit? And then we need to get a time stamp on when we will follow through. And that's how you become a person of commitment. Is that you know what you're going after. You figure out what is required to accomplish what you're going after. And then you follow through and you get it done. And that's how you build personal excellence. And so, listen, there's so many ways that you can show up and sort of fake your way through life and just meet the standard. And just meet the standard and just check the box. That is possible out there. But if you're going to accomplish something really meaningful, you need to be a person who follows through on commitments. And so when you do that, then you become a person of commitment. You become committed to excellence. And that is the second pillar of personal excellence. Number 3, consistency. Consistency is a leadership superpower. Consistency will do so much for you. Over time, you will become a person of tremendous excellence when you employ this pillar into your life every day. And so consistency is so wrapped in just small daily habits that lead to lasting success just over and over and over and over. If I'm a person that runs late all the time, which has plagued me my entire career, and if I let up for one moment, that is something that I can fall back into so easily. But over time, that has an effect on your team if you don't show up when you're supposed to show up. And you may be sitting there thinking, oh, it's just a minute or 2 here, or it's just 5 minutes. What's the big deal? The big deal is that people notice whether you are a person of personal excellence or not. And if you're in a leadership position, It is so vital that the people who are following you believe in what you are doing and what you say you're going to do, and do you follow through? And so consistency, you can flip that bad habit of showing up a minute late, showing up a minute too late. You can shift that by just consistently showing up 5 minutes early. And that becomes your new normal. And it seems like a tiny, small habit, but it actually develops over time into something super powerful because people know they can count on you to do what you say you're going to do. And that's consistency, showing up on time, meeting deadlines, communicating, full communication with your team. This is what we're trying to do. This is the deadline. I can make the deadline. I can't make the deadline. I'm going to have to push it. But just communicating with honesty over and over, being consistent in that, is going to position you so powerfully. And so for this pillar, I want you to identify something in your life right now that you need to improve, just something small in your life, like being on time or preparing your week, getting your week solid before you start the week and not just flying by the seat of your pants. What is that you need to do? And I want you to commit to it. I want you to write it down and say, I am going to be 5 minutes early to all of my appointments this week. And every day you have that opportunity, just have the discipline, the winning tool of discipline, to follow through on this and be consistent in this area. And when you do this, over time, this is going to change the way that you operate, and it's going to be a pillar of personal excellence. So consistency is all about using the winning tool of discipline. Have the discipline to examine your life. Find one habit this coming week that you can lean into and improve. And when you do that, that is personal excellence. So in review, the 3 pillars of personal excellence: character, commitment, consistency. We're going to use the winning tools to build these 3 pillars extremely strong. These are not going to be made out of paper mache. They're going to be made out of granite. Have you ever walked up on, I'm not sure what the style is, maybe Roman architecture? I think that's possible. You can correct me in the comments. Roman architecture. Have you ever been to Rome? I've been to Rome, and there's these huge granite pillars of stone, of granite, that are still standing for 1,000 years. And they are so rock solid, and that's what we want to build. When you build these pillars and you have character, commitment, consistency in your life, you're going to live a life of personal excellence. So I want you to use the winning tools to build these pillars. Honesty is going to help you be a person of high character. Hard work is going to help you be a person that follows through, that is committed in life and follows through on their commitments. And discipline is going to help you be consistent and display consistency in your life. And are you going to be cooking or not? What we'd say at that point, you are cooking with some hot grease at that point in time. You're going to fry up that catfish. Have you ever had catfish? You know, where I'm from, Mississippi is the catfish capital of the world. And there's not much better than a piece of fried catfish. And so you got to have some hot grease to cook up some good catfish. And that's what you're going to be cooking up in your life if you have these 3 pillars of personal excellence. All right. That's it for this week. Go to CoachMatthewMitchell.com, because success isn't luck. It's built with the right tools. The winning tools provides the step-by-step process to turn potential into performance. So I want you to join us at CoachMatthewMitchell.com to get the tools you need. Book a call with us, and we will address your underperformance. We will lead you to sustained success, and we will help you step into the potential you have, and we will love doing it. So thanks again for joining us on the Coach Matthew Mitchell Show. We'll see you next week.